Hey everyone, how we doing? My name is Tim Pongrez and this is Focus on Detailing. Today's video is going to be all about a nifty new wax from BowdensOwn called Beaut beads. I'll be delving right in, going into its performance and hopefully finding out if it's worth it. What I have with me is a relatively new wax from BowdensOwn. Like all their products, they're extremely proud and confident in what they produce, happy that it's Australian made and can deal with the harsh Australian climate. This could be a big statement, but paste waxes seem to have fallen by the wayside a little bit as new and improved formulations are created to get your car looking and feeling amazing. But there's something about applying a paste wax that's almost therapeutic, and some could say that it's almost a superior finish with a show car glow. I almost sound like one of those people that are trying to outline the taste of a wine. What we want to find out is, can Beaut beads do all that? Can it hold up against a harsh environment, and is it worth it? There's only one way to find out. So for this video, I'll be using the mighty VT Commodore again. Think of it as the daily detailer tester car. It makes for a prime example of how great quality products can make even the most average vehicle look good. So I'll be predominantly focusing on the bonnet for this test, but the whole car will be getting a coating. I started by giving it a good rinse down. You may notice that there's some beading action on the left hand side, and although that's a good sign for the previous product used, we don't actually want any pre-existing protective layers. We need it completely stripped before any new application here. Now I moved on to safely washing down the car using the common 2-bucket method that I'm sure most are familiar with now, working in straight motions and rinsing down a panel once I had completed it. Up next was a more in-depth cleansing step, comprising of both a chemical and mechanical decontamination method. What that means, simply put, is using a clay bar along with an iron fallout spray that also acts as a lubricant. A generous spray over the surface and around a minute wait was all that was needed for the chemical spray to react with the iron particles here, breaking them down for easier removal. Now when using the clay bar, that given spray now helps to get it gliding across the surface. Using little to no pressure, the bar lifts more bonded contaminants. It should go from a gritty feel in spots to slick all over. If this is happening, it means it's doing its job well. Once completed a panel or a section, it was all thoroughly rinsed off before moving on to the next. The following step was pretty straightforward, simply drying down the entire car with a specific drying microfiber towel. You may find it's a little harder to dry the car now that the surface pulls the water a lot more, but in this case that's actually a good thing. The second last stage before applying the wax was using a paint cleansing solution, and a perfect option for this is BowdensOwn Paint Cleanse and Restore. I'll be using it along with ShineMate's dual action polisher and a soft red pad. Normally this pad is used to apply waxes, as it serves no major purpose in paint correction, but we're not correcting paint here, simply cleansing it. I applied several drops over the pad, then worked it in to prime it. Using a low speed and fast movements, I worked over the bonnet. Now this is the only time other than applying a wax when I'd use this technique, but normally this product would be applied by hand, so this is all that's needed. It's hard to define cleaning clean paint, but once you use this, you'll understand. Even after only a few passes, it feels so smooth when buffed clean. Only 1 or 2 passes are all that's needed, and you'll notice a difference. Much like the decontamination stage, this strips the surface for a superior clean, and makes for a much better bond for the protective layer. Lastly, I used another product from BowdensOwn called Flash Prep. Essentially a final product used prior to a protective application, made up of multiple types of alcohols to strip existing residual oils from the surface with a spray, wipe and buff. Now as you can see, this car isn't perfect. Swirls galore and rock chips are plentiful, but in many cases, unless you have performed some paint correction, there will be a wide selection of cars potentially in the same boat. So this is what you would call a bad great example to show off the wax's performance on an everyday average car. Since this video isn't about how to prep and clean a car, I think it's time to bring out Beaut beads. What I have with me is one applicator pad as well as one plush microfiber towel. I taped off half the bonnet to get a better idea as to how it performs alongside an unprotected section. I primed the pad up with the wax, then gently worked it over the selected side, but not before noticing how good it smells. Just like Jaffa's. It was easy enough so far to apply. I did work in straight motions, though it's fine to work in circular too. Whatever floats your boat. If you were to get some on the plastics, stress less as a simple wipe with a towel infused with flash prep is enough to remove it. I could easily see where I'd been on the darker colour, and now all I had to do with that is wait 20 minutes for it to bond to the paintwork. With the power of video editing, 20 minutes was up and I buffed off the residue. I can say with 100% certainty that it was a breeze to wipe clean. No smearing, no grippy waxy build-up, just easy buffing. It left behind an incredibly slick feeling surface, which always builds up confidence for the hydrophobic test. I took the tape off to see if there was a difference in appearance. Now looking past the paint defects, there was a superior depth through the wax side, and although the camera likely couldn't pick up a substantial difference, there seemed to be a winner. I didn't want to delve right into wetting the surface, as I'd prefer for it to sit a little longer to cure, so during this time, I waxed the rest of the car, as I think it's in need of a bit of love, and this seems to be a great way to show it. It was a joy to use, and apart from the 20-minute wait, it was an easy, speedy process. Just think of the 20-minute bonding time as a much-needed beer break, before moving back to cleaning off the residue. It did really make the car look and feel incredible, and if it can make this VT look good, I'm sure it can work wonders on your selected car. Now moving back onto the bonnet, I couldn't wait any longer and wanted to see just how it goes when rained upon. So I gave it a good rinse down. The left unwaxed side was doing okay, as it was deep cleaned, making for a very tidy surface for the water to run off, but the right side was in another league. Beaut Beads was living up to its name. It repelled the water like it wanted nothing to do with it. Depending on how the water made contact with the surface, it either sheeted incredibly well or left very well shaped beads. There's no ceramic infusion to create such a great repelling ability, just classic high quality natural ingredients, although some more modern advanced compounds were infused to help with longevity and UV protection. The paste itself is made up of a T1 grade Brazilian carnauba wax, local beeswax, and montan wax. This amalgamation of waxes is what gives it the ability to create a brilliant shine and a hardy barrier. They say it can last 2 to 5 months by itself with safe washing methods, but can go up to 4 to 6 plus when their spray sealant Bead Machine is added over the top. So after waiting 4 to 5 hours for the wax to cure, that's exactly what I added. Spraying into one towel, wipe, then buff clean with another separate clean microfiber towel. BowdensOwn have a different application process to most, where the wax is added before the sealant. This helps to bring the most out of the base protective coating in terms of appearance and longevity. Before long, the whole car was done and looking worlds apart to how I started. Now I was really happy with the performance of Beaut Beads. Application was easy, appearance was high class, and if it lives up to the statements of how long it can last, that's really good for a wax. Only downside so far is it can't be purchased as a standalone product. I believe you can only get it if you buy a limited edition bucket from BowdensOwn, so it's hard to kind of price it now. Many are living in hope that it will be released soon on its own, so hopefully that won't be too far in the future. I will say though that this product is still definitely worth it. This little jar can be used for around 4 to 5 cars, and I'll more than likely be including it within my product range to be used on customers' cars. BowdensOwn products are formulated around being able to cope with the harsh Australian environment. Here in Mildura, it gets pretty hot, so it will be a true test to see how it holds up. Now on that note, I'll be closing up this video. Thank you all for watching, and don't forget to check out the socials. Take care, and I'll catch you all later.